Hello, my friends, and welcome to the feature match area here for round number 12 of GP Liverpool. My name's Riley Knight. It's my great pleasure to have you along for coverage of this unified modern event. Raphael Levy's at my side, the Pro Tour Hall of Famer. Raphael, good afternoon, my friend. Great to have you along as well.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Greetings. On your screen, Jasper Grimmer facing off against Eduardo Sajkulik. We've seen both of these teams in the feature match area before. Thiago Rodriguez, Sajkulik, and Jeremy Dezani. Whoa! Jeremy Dezani picks up a game one at lightning speed. Tofferel Severin there may have mulliganed to -1. I think the way that went.
The match score is wrong. I think they were 9-2. It's round 12, so, and I'm pretty sure the team picked up a second loss.
Wow, I mean, we're going to have to see exactly what's going on with that scorecard. But right now, in any case,
they're 9-2 for sure. I have Thiago on Twitter, and he said they just lost, so they're 9-2.
Jasper Grimmer and facing off with his collected company deck, sort of combo-based creature deck here, Raf. But Eduardo Sajkulik very happy with his choice of Hardened Scales Affinity this weekend, and it's done him well so far, of course, contesting this GP pretty meaningfully, it has to say. But yes, very interested to find out what happened on that table between Dezani and Severin. Dezani winning a game with incredible alacrity. The Pro Tour winner, obviously, just absolutely crushing it from the get-go there. So we might try to get an update from... the other table there to find out exactly what happened during game one between Dezani and Severin, because that's really a turn off for the books. But right now,
could have been game loss as well.
Sajkulik is crushing it here.
All right,
with a Steel Overseer online in addition to an Arcbound Worker, and double Steel Overseer, excuse me. But it's not enough, because Jasper Grimmer combos off at the speed of light just like that. Devoted Druid, Vizier of Remedies finds a Duskwatch Recruiter, gets a Walking Ballista, and that's what you can do with Infinite Mana.
Yeah, if you left to get a drink to check this round out, you missed about half the round already.
Yes, yeah, exactly, yeah. This one's already well and truly on its way towards being in the books there. Grimmer playing a deck that we're not accustomed to seeing a huge amount of. Time was that Court of Calling and Collected Company and various, triggers, infinite... counters, I should say. Infinite Mana was produced by cards like Devoted Druid, Vizier of Remedies. It's kind of fallen off the radar a little bit, Raf. But of course, doing good work for the German in this tournament, at least.
Yeah, he played that deck to a very good result at GP Stockholm, and he's playing pretty much the same version with Eldritch Evolution and Postmortem Lunge.
Postmortem Lunge, another way to put a Devoted Druid onto the battlefield and give it haste so you can combo off. Just, I guess, another level of redundancy for this deck. Now, is it playing black is my question here.
Well, the Lunge is a black card.
But are there black sources? Because, of course, it's a Phyrexian card, right?
Birds of Paradise?
No. All right. But I noticed that he's playing blue, Botanical Sanctum, before Reflector Mage coming out of the board. But we'll come back to this, Raf, right now. Rich Hagen with an update from the floor.
Yeah, just super briefly, because it was super brief. Jeremy Dezani against Taraf Severin. Severin struggled on mana, and like 3 turns in, Jeremy was like, well, I'm going to hit you for this much, and they're going to hit you again. And it's just like, okay, we're done. So they spent all of 2 minutes on game number 1, and they're shuffling for game number 2.
Unsurprising to hear Taraf Severin losing very quickly. He's a man who likes to get ahead of the game when it comes to early concessions, head on to game number 2, and obviously does a lot of losing as well. So very, very used to that sort of thing, I would imagine. We move over now to Arne Huschenbett and Thiago Rodriguez. Huschenbett, another German superstar out of Berlin, a young up-and-comer. Quite a number of GP top 8s for him, and a name that I expect to see a lot more of in the future, Raf. And Thiago Rodriguez, this guy's been around and has established himself pretty securely at this stage.
Yeah, he's been managing a lot of teams lately, as in the Portuguese, Brazilian team at the Pro Tour.
Yep.
He's been organizing their trips. Well, not qualified himself. He was hired to do all the dirty work.
Yeah, a coach-manager type player. Yeah. That's good. And that's the sort of thing you need. Gives you an edge. Don't have to worry about, your flights and whatnot if someone's taking care of it. And Huschenbett really putting the screws onto Rodriguez here, who seems to be struggling to find the lands that he needs. Huschenbett having none of these problems himself. Both of these guys playing a very similar list here. Is it decks that are looking to flip Thing in the Ice? Maybe play some Arclight Phoenixes as well, as far as Rodriguez is concerned. But here is that namesake card, Thing in the Ice. I guess the problem here is it doesn't bounce opposing things or opposing Awoken Horrors.
So I'm looking at both lists to check the differences between them. Thiago's handwriting is challenging to read, to say the least.
Is it really?
Yes.
It looks like he's an architect. Actually, that's very similar to my dad's handwriting. Architect.
I'm not exactly sure which way I should read it.
yeah. It tends to become very geometric at one point.
I think Arn's deck is a lot more controlling.
A lot more controlling, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Lightning Bolt going upstairs now for Rodriguez. Going to knock Huschenbett. Oh, and another one as well.
Well, the big difference
the all-out burn plan here. And an Arclight Phoenix coming back from the grave as well. Huschenbett in a world of pain out of nowhere.
The big difference is that Arn is not playing any Arclight Phoenix.
No.
So that's the big difference.
So, Huschenbett here. We're going to get those life totals updated. He's on 3. Very precarious position for him. Sitting behind 2 0-4s, of course, that can't block that Arclight Phoenix. And despite Rodriguez having mana trouble, he's firing on all cylinders at the moment. So Huschenbett, with a Snapcaster Mage in hand, should have something to say about the Phoenix here. Here's Snip Snap. And Tiago Chan is going to ruin the day of Tiago Rodriguez.
Nice.
Thank you. Had that one ready. Was on standby. Cryptic Command. Bounce draw, perhaps? Yes.
Does Thiago have... Is it Charm in hand? Oh, that's Crackling Drake. That's not... It's Charm.
So no fourth land for either the Drake or the Phoenix. Huschenbett is going to have to string together answers here, however. Cryptic Command is one of the best ways to do that, of course, replacing itself. But all the same, he's in a world of pain. Is that a Manamorphose as well there for Rodriguez? I think I caught a glimpse of one. Yes, indeed. And a Faithless Looting as well. Maybe find that bolt. There it is. All right, so all Rodriguez needs to do now is untap, and a Lethal Lightning Bolt will be leveled at the Domeski of Arne Huschenbett. Discards the Phoenix as well as a Thing in the Ice. Ooh, and if that came to play untapped, we'd be going to game number 2. But as it is now, Raf, what does Huschenbett need to keep himself in this?
He needs to chain Manamorphoses, but I don't think he runs them, so that's not an option.
So opts?
Opt into Bolt.
Serum Vision
would do it.
Just I mean, any three instants or sorceries will do it here,
including a Bolt.
No, does it have to? Why?
Yes. Oh no, it's 14. Never.
Yeah, Rodriguez on 14.
Yeah, so it just needs to play 3 spells to attack 14.
It looks as though they're having they're just in getting the life totals worked out. Figuring out exactly what the life totals are here, as Huschenbett has fetched and shocked and taken a bunch of damage from opposing bolts. Oh, he's on 4. Okay.
Oh,
he's on 4.
That
does make a
big difference.
Makes a big difference. Yes. Now a judge is getting involved here to make sure that everything is as it should be.
Are you sure?
Are you sure about that?
Sure.
19 to 15. That fall was good shot coming out right. Okay. Do you have that?
Yes, 18 and 15.
Yeah.
We can hear the discussions.
From
So.
Into 14, yes.
And then from 14 to 13 with a fetch.
And another fetch.
And then you seem to have gone from 13 to 9.
Yeah. 13 to 9. Yeah.
We can see now matches underway on the other tables as well. There is Toffel Severin at the forefront of the screen, playing against the Pro Tour champion Jeremy Desani, the Frenchman.
Jeremy likes this matchup.
He's playing Spirits. Spirits against KCI. He's a big fan of it, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has 15 cards in his sideboard.
All 15 of them, huh?
All 15.
Slam them straight in.
So.
Yeah, what's he working with? I want to have a look at his sideboard here.
So game 1 is usually a little hard. Like it could be a little hard, but after board, everything comes in.
Yep.
Thalia, 2 Thalias, 2 Knights of Autumn.
Powered creatures or anything
Maybe
like
not
that.
Reflector Mage.
Okay.
3 Rest in
that case,
Peace.
I think
3 Stony
4 is
Silence.
correct for your opponent.
2 Unified
And
Will.
you got
1
3,
Negate.
You were on 12. Okay.
Maybe 1 Worship.
Continue.
So it looks like this issue's been resolved now on the table, so we'll be able to continue on here. But yeah, wow, look, really tuned to beat those artifact decks, huh?
Like 3 Stony Silence, 3 Rest in Peace.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Very difficult for KCA. Well, if there's anyone
Oh.
who can be lucky enough to win a game against that amount of hate, it's Toralf Severin.
Huh.
So an attack with the Snapcaster Mage. Hushenbet is on 4, so that Lightning Bolt in Rodriguez's hand is not lethal, but if it's followed up with an Arclight Phoenix, doesn't matter if he's on 4, 5, or 6,
So
still get the job done.
yeah, Arn had the option to cast Electrolyze, to draw 2 other spells,
Uh-huh.
and he decided not to.
So, Manamorphose now from Thiago Rodriguez.
I think he had more chances to actually chain
Yeah.
the.
I agree.
Like if he draws a Snapcaster Mage, that could work. If he draws Opt, Serum Visions.
Yep.
Because now he's
Ooh,
very likely to be dead.
Monastery Swift Spear in hand as well. Was going to have a hard time attacking through those things in the ice. So, flashback Faithless Looting now.
Yeah.
So that's spell number 2. And then we know that there's the bolt in hand. Oh! 3 Phoenixes coming back from beyond the grave after this Lightning Bolt here. Lightning Bolt goes upstairs, brings back 3 Phoenixes.
Although
Hushenbet on 1. He needs Cryptic Command here.
no, although if he actually has all the spells, he can bounce everything now. So it's
So in hand for Hushenbet, 1 spell, 1 card. It's Electrolyze. Going upstairs.
yeah, but he will have to fetch, so it'll go down to 0.
So, off the top, an Opt perhaps? Nope, not good enough. And Arne Hushenbet gets taken down by the army of mighty chickens there. Link swung his sword at the Cuckoos one too many times, and as a result, they came back from the grave with a vengeance. And down goes Arne Hushenbet, joining Toralf Severin and taking a Game 1 loss. We move back over now to Jasper Grimmer facing off against Eduardo Sajgalik here. Grimmer was able to combo off with his Collector Company deck early in game number 1 and beat Sajgalik out of nowhere. But look at this now, Sajgalik with double hardened scales. And that's going to be enough now for Jasper Grimmer to pack him up. Too much for him to overcome. And so things are looking good for the team on the right here, Raft. Rodriguez, Sajgalik and Dazani all with a game win under their belts.
Yeah, Walking Ballista is a little problem for Arn to actually win.
Yeah.
For one.
A little bit too much to overcome. We move back to now table number 3 here. Toralf Severin facing off against Jeremy Dazani. Dazani, of course, well known and well respected for some of his results, including a Pro Tour win and recently a Pro Tour top 8, of course. And Toralf Severin respected for his
videos with you.
Not really.
No, not even.
I mean, known for them maybe, but even that's probably generous.
it's very harsh.
I mean, he's also not. I mean, he's not even that good at Mario Kart, to be honest. He doesn't have a lot going for him.
Should I add that he's a friend of yours?
He's a very good friend of mine as
Okay,
well.
okay.
Yeah, that's
Just-
probably
just in case.
that's probably just
people
about
don't.
all he's got going for him, to be honest.
Okay, that's good then.
I don't even know if that's true. Maybe that's actually a downside. In any case, he finds himself in a much better position after this Nature's Claim gets rid of a Rest in Peace. And Dazani needs some action here, because at the moment, Severin, with a Scrap Trawler online, 2 cards in hand, he's threatening to, to pull further and further ahead here, Raf.
He will. That will require some time because there's nothing in the graveyard since Rest in Peace was in play for most of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And Toralf has 2 cards, so that we don't know yet. There was Chromatic Star.
Ooh. Here's another problematic
he might
card.
Get going. Might get stuff going.
Here's another problematic card now for Dazani. For Severin from Dazani. Thalia, Guardian of Thraven, going to make life very difficult for Severin, who's looking to cast a lot of cheap non-creature spells. And Thalia says, no, my friend, you have to pay the tax. You got to pay the troll toll.
Did he gain a life from the fair?
Yes, he did. He's on 17.
Did he get a little
So
tour on the roller coaster.
you can see Desani made a note of it on his life pad there.
Yeah.
So he's definitely had a go on the roller coaster.
Yeah.
Yep, gone and bought a frozen Coke, and he's feeling much more enlivened. Now, we'll get that fixed up, though, because he's obviously on 17 rather than 16. In comes Thalia across for 2. Of course, Scrap Trawler not a great blocker against a 2-power first striker. Severin down to 15 now. And here's a Stony Silence. Whoops.
you can't do that.
That's not going to work. No.
That's not the right card.
It has to cost. It's going to cost 3, of course. So instead, a Supreme Phantom, maybe a Noble Hierarch, an option as well. Desani unable to deploy any of the other cards in his hand. Knight of Autumn costing 3, as indeed does Unified Will and Stony Silence here. So Noble Hierarch to develop his mana here for the Frenchman. Back over to Severin here. This Arena Boy. As you say, one thing he is known for is those Arena Boy videos. Going to give him another quick plug, channelfireball.com, if you want to check out me, Toralf, and our friend Yamin Kauf playing all sorts of silly decks on Arena.
Yeah.
You can get across them there.
Yeah, Jeremy recalculating his attack here. Like, oh, yep, missed the point here.
yes, the post-combat Noble Hierarch.
Yep.
But
yeah, he's aware of that. That was not his initial plan.
But as there's an article as well that PV wrote. It's better to make 2 mistakes that everyone sees rather than 1 mistake that only you know about. So that's the right way to go, regardless of how you initially planned. Desani cannot deploy that rest in the Stony Silence, excuse me. And so now, make the best of the situation. Inventors Fair is cancelled, ladies and gentlemen. The roller coaster is packed up. The Dodgem cars are put away and instead turned into a massive ironworks.
Yeah, the clowns are going to bed.
Clowns are all getting back into the car.
All of them.
And the foundry is opening now.
In this Scrap Trawler car.
Yep. All 50 of the clowns.
Yeah.
Away they go. And now, back to Severin.
Thorop is just AFK.
Yeah, conferring with his teammates at the moment, having a chat about what's going on. I think they're talking about sideboarding. Didn't get a great oral beam on what they were having a chat about there. So, in comes Scrap Trawler for 3. No blocks available for Desani that make any sense, so he's knocked down to 24, or 21 I should say now. He's gained a bunch of life, of course, off of that Nature's Claim that Severin cast previously.
I think he wants to cast his Iron Voice here. He wants to draw a land. Oh, that's a land.
Yavimaya Coast off the top, a nice one here.
He wants to be able to deploy it before.
Well, yeah, Desani has a number of answers to it. Next turn, Unified Will to counter it. Stony Silence to prevent it from being activated. And so...
This is a tough one because now Torolf knows Jeremy has a Stony
Yeah.
Silence in hand.
yeah.
So he can't kill Thalia. He has to kill the Noble Hierarch and hope Jeremy does not draw another land. So we can win next turn, or go a pull ahead next turn. I think.
So for 5 mana, it's going to be KCI here. 1 mana floating, of course, from that Chromatic Star. Away goes the Mox Opal. Generate 2 mana here. And immediately used to cast a Chromatic Star.
Yeah, he has to do something now.
2 more mana now coming off of that Darksteel Citadel, of course. And with the Chromatic Star also being sacrificed, going to bring back a Mox Opal. That's enough mana now to cast a... Mox Opal, or indeed a Nickel Wellspring. Oh, no. Okay, we've got a Galvanic Blast now. That's a great answer to that Thalia here. Or it might just go after the Noble Hierarch. No, okay. I think he's going to try to go for it. Yeah, he's going to try to go for it here. If he went after the Noble Hierarch, of course, that would indicate that he wants to try to get another turn without a Stony Silence, maybe another draw, some extra mana here. But right now, Severin unimpeded, and he may be able to stitch together a win.
That's a better option here. So now he, with 2 Wellsprings, he can draw a lot more cards. With Scrap Trawler in play as well, he can bring back the Mox Opal, the Star Mox Opal in that order.
So Chromatic Star.
Draw a bunch of cards. Get a lot of mana.
Of course, Scrap Trawler giving Severin the ability to bring back all sorts of stuff from the bin. And now with a Psymaster Thopterist on the battlefield, it looks like Severin is in a great position, of course, to put this one beyond the reach of Dazani. Of course, Psy generates a bunch of artifacts, which generates a bunch of mana. We will bring you updates as to if there are any twist and M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong, the Village twist endings here. But we can move over now to Arna Huschenbett playing against Thiago Rodriguez in game number 2. Both of these players have dragged back enormous hunks of ice from the 7 seas, Raf, and they'll be beginning to chip away at them.
I could be Wesley Snipes in the ice.
Yeah.
Demolition Man.
Yeah. Good one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Well, what's the name of the bad guy? Wesley Snipes in the.
I have no idea, dude. No idea.
Is Phoenix something? Something Phoenix.
Something Phoenix. Perfect.
Oh man.
Yeah, perfect. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's the name of the deck.
Yeah. Wesley Snipes in Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Is
What's
it Demolition
his
Man?
name? Yeah.
To the Google.
To the Google. Oh,
Another-
maybe someone will have it before
Another
me.
thing in the ice now.
Simon Phoenix.
Simon Phoenix.
Yes.
Simon Phoenix, yeah.
That's the name of the deck.
Yep.
The Simon. Simon Phoenix. The arc like Phoenix.
Yeah. No, it's good. It all comes together. It's it's a beautiful confluence. Here's a second thing in the ice. And now, Huschenbett. 4 cards in hand. One of them is a Snapcaster Mage. Faithless Looting, however, for Rodriguez is going to chip away some of that ice.
Because Faithless Looting, I wait 2-3 seconds.
Okay.
He looks at me, then I say, okay.
Okay.
Then he decides to.
Yes. Okay. These trigger when you cast the spell. I think you definitely played this and waited for a reaction for your opponent, which means you've missed those triggers. They're not generally detrimental, so there's no penalty, and you have the option of whether you would like to put them.
Fair play.
So as you heard there, the Faithless Looting was on the stack, and it looks like Rodriguez didn't announce the thing in the ice triggers, gave Huschenbett a chance to respond to the Faithless Looting, and that's just the way that it goes. He didn't announce the triggers, didn't demonstrate any awareness of them, and if Huschenbett was in a position to respond, it meant they weren't on the stack. And so an unfortunate misstep from Rodriguez, but as the Beatles say, life goes on.
How about that handshake?
Yeah, the mid-game handshake isn't one
Yeah.
we see very often.
The settle the judge calls with
Yep.
the
Yep.
handshakes. That I like that one.
Yeah, there was a nice little friendly touch there. As Snapcaster Mage comes down, Huschenbett not going to miss his thing in the ice trigger here, as he flashes back and opt. And so now, Huschenbett scries to the bottom. Serum Vision's off the top after having sent a card below decks. And he's going to untap now, move to his next turn. Cryptic Command. Kind of awkward against other blue decks. Cryptic Command. Not great in a counter war, so I guess Huschenbett is looking to maybe bounce and tap permanents a little more than he is to counter spells.
Yeah, it's two really different approaches
Yeah.
of is it.
As you say, even though they do have the Venn diagram overlaps on that copy of the things in the ice there, but apart from that, as you mentioned, Huschenbett taking a much more controlling approach here. Cards like Logic, Not Cryptic Command, Braid, Spell Snare,
Anger of the Gods.
Anger of the Gods. There's even Raoul and Jace in his main deck, which is insane. I don't see those cards too often in these tempo-based Izzet decks, but Huschenbett playing a deck of a different stroke here.
And Harvest Pyre.
Yeah, very good with Snapcaster Mage. Can burn stuff out of nowhere.
You can see the little light on the little square next to Torolf.
Oh,
I mean
yep.
that he got game 2.
Looks like he did get game 2 after all. And I think that really came down to him recognizing that the Stony Silence was incoming,
Yeah, that he had to go for it that turn.
forcing the issue, and he had to go for it. And
Very well played.
Yep, well played indeed to Severin. Unfortunately, Dazani, I think, struggling for mana there. His hand well set up against KCI, but Severin able to sneak in like a little imp. and steal a game off the French champion there. Serum Vision sends a card below decks, but Hushenbet will be able to draw the top card of his that he scried at the top there at some point. Cryptic Command mana available for Hushenbet. Let's see what Rodriguez wants to do with his turn. Here's a Metamorphose, announces the triggers, not going to miss him this time. As the Beatles say, failure is always the best way to learn.
They also said be the change you want to
That you want to see in the world?
see in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. What was that other Beatles hit?
What?
Tick tock on the clock and the party don't stop.
Yeah.
Tonight, I'm going to fight till I see the sunlight. I love that one. You know, the only reason I know the words to that song actually is because Weird Al Yankovic included it in one of his polka medleys in one of his albums. Here's Serum Visions now. Thing in the ice is the things in the ice down to
Thing in the ices.
thing in the ices. The German word for ice cream is just ice.
Yeah, same in French.
Yeah, just ice.
Glass.
Yeah, so so these just imagine that. Imagine a big spooky lobster boy inside an enormous ice cream. You have to eat your way out of it. But right now, 2 counters on all of the things. Which spell is that in Rodriguez's hand?
It's a blue counter spell for 1 mana.
Okay. Which spell?
I thought Scar.
Oh, Thought Scout. Yeah. So a couple more triggers now, and I think Rodriguez even has another Faithless Looting in hand, so he can flip these things. They're not going to bounce the thing on Hushenbet's side, but it will bounce the Snapcaster Mage. However, Cryptic Command can return one of them to hand.
All right, so the little misstep from last turn did not actually matter too much.
Not really, but the thing is here, I mean, with the Dispel up, it's not looking good for Hushenbet because ordinarily Cryptic Command bounce a flipped Awoken Horror is fantastic, right? Bounce to the hand, they have to redeploy, it's got 4 more ice counters on it. But here, Dispel's going to do a great amount of work.
Yeah, and I think Thiago also has a Surgical Extraction in hand. Oh, wow.
So draw 2 discard 2, another Dispel.
So do spells.
Do spells. Which spells? Those spells. And 2, and another land to follow them up with here. So Hushenbet is in a world of pain. Here's an Arclight Phoenix as well. And this is just a casual attack for lethal. Here's Snapcaster has a think about that one again.
Snapcaster Mage your Serum Visions.
So Lightning Bolt instead here.
Oh.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
And then it's going to be Snapcaster Bolt, but that Dispel is just going to ruin it. So 3 damage marked on the Awoken Horror here.
No, that's not so bad. I mean, Dispel is not going to keep the thing in the ice from...
So I think Hushenbet's line here is to double bolt that thing,
Okay.
block it with the Snapcaster Mage, and bounce the Arclight Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's not going to work out that well because the second Lightning Bolt will just be countered by the Dispel.
why wouldn't he just block a thing in the ice with his thing in the ice?
I know, but if he's putting 3 damage onto this second Awoken Horror...
No, I think his plan is going to be like block the Awoken Aura with his
His own Awoken Horror.
Unawoken Aura.
Yeah.
Play the bolt on the Phoenix after blocks,
okay. All
and
right.
then he will bring back his own Snapcaster Mage.
Okay.
So that way he takes 0 damage, and he can play around the Lightning Bolt. He can play around the Dispels.
All right, well, let's have a look. Here is the Snapcaster Mage.
Yep. And this
Block,
one-
block.
Yep. And before damage,
Okay.
bolt the bird.
Well,
Yep.
there you go. You're much smarter than me. And you and Hushenbet saw the best line here. And here's Lightning Bolt targeting Arclight Phoenix.
So like, the spell is not actually that relevant.
Yeah, Hushenbet played around it masterfully.
That was a really good play.
Yep, a Cryptic Command would have just been a nightmare. Because you think in that situation, you get through Cryptic Command wreck you.
But like, you know what Thiago could have done? Keep his Surgical Extraction. That would have been so good.
Yeah.
Like instead of the dispel,
Yeah.
if he keeps the extraction, he
Prevents the
targets
second
the lightning bolt, and then Arn cannot flip the thing in the ice, and he's just dead on board, pretty much.
So I think Arne Huschenbett, in considering this play,
Yeah.
asked himself a very important question. He sat there and he's like, which spell ruins this
Not-
line?
Surgical extraction.
Which spell?
Surgical extraction.
Which spell do I need to play around? And then he's gone, oh, Dispel is the spell I need to play around. So, after the Awoken Horror on Huschenbett's side of things has flipped, it returns the Snapcaster Mage to hand. Nice bit of value here for Huschenbett, but there is
What?
that spell.
So the bird. What's?
The bird was bounced
No. Why did he?
because the
play
lightning
Dispel?
bolt. The lightning bolt, I think, was targeted upstairs.
No. Why did the Phoenix die?
I don't think it did. Did it? No, it's in his hand. It was bounced.
Oh yeah.
Huschenbett couldn't kill the Phoenix.
Yes,
He couldn't kill the Phoenix.
Yes.
He could target it with the bolt.
Yes.
But then it would fizzle just because. So Thiago Rodriguez using his Dispel as a healing salve, effectively countering the lightning bolt that was targeted at the dome.
Yeah, surgical extraction would have been a little better than a healing salve.
And yes, indeed. And the Awoken Horror on Huschenbett's side of things blocked the Awoken Horror with 3 damage marked on it with a lightning bolt, meaning that it died. So a great turn. I mean, hats off to Arne Huschenbett. He navigated that turn masterfully.
That was a great turn.
Yeah, really, really good stuff from him. Let's see what Rodriguez can do to try to get himself back into this here. Faithless Looting's a nice start. Going to get him to be able to discard, I think, at least 1 copy of Arclight Phoenix in hand. He may even have 2.
Ooh, that's not.
Yeah,
It's not a good draw.
but finds 2 lands instead. So discards double Phoenix. Can't really do anything else unless there's another. Nope.
He's on 7. No, he's.
I think he's just. I mean, no,
turn
because
tap and just start tap your.
there's a cryptic.
Tap or bounce your thing in the ice.
Yep, and then flash it back.
Or
Yep.
just play another one.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, this is looking really, really bad for Rodriguez here. It all kind of fell apart at the seams, and I tell you what, Arne Huschenbett, there's a reason that there's a lot of talk surrounding this guy, and his meteoric ascension as a GP mainstay here in Europe, because he's got a very, very sharp mind. Very, very sharp mind indeed, Raf, and that was put on display during that last sequence there, playing around that Dispel. And as a result, Cryptic Commander doing a lot of work in forcing through lethal. Rodriguez is going to try to counter it, but it doesn't do any good because he knows he's got a Snapcaster Mage in hand. Arne Huschenbett equalizes things, and at 1-1, we're going to go to Game 3 after an incredibly impressive performance from the young German.
Yeah, that little misstep from Thiago cost him was very costly. But I'm not too concerned about the chances of Thiago's team with this matchup. Because this is not good for Thorolf.
So Severin here is facing an incredibly hateful post-board configuration from Desani. As you mentioned, Desani does have nearly 15 cards to bring in post-board for KCI. Everything from Thalia, Knight of Autumn, Rest in Peace, Stony Silence, Worship, and Unified Will and Negate, all of which are going to do good work against KCI. And Severin already labouring under the weight of a Thalia Guardian of Thraben with nothing more than a Terrarian on display. So difficult needle for Severin to thread here. But as I say, if there is a man who is lucky enough to get across the line here,
it's a rich man's problem here. Like, what do I play? Do I play a Captain, Drugstore Captain? Do I play Rest in Peace? Only good options here.
so all sorts of an embarrassment of riches, as you say here, for the Pro Tour champion, Jeremy Desani.
I mean, with Rest in Peace, he's safe for so long.
Yeah. I mean, something is going to happen. Something incredibly special is going to have to happen here for Severin to get back into this game.
I don't think he needs to.
So just a Drog Skull Captain now. And now an attack for 3/5. Excuse me. Over to Severin. All of his spells cost 1 more. Mox Opal off the top's going to cost 1 mana.
So it's pretty much a 3-turn clock on Jeremy's side.
Terrarian sacrificed. Finds an Ancient Stirrings here. And there is Sai, Master Thopterus. That is one way to get around the impact that Thalia can have. And let's have a look at what Desani's next move is. As you say, Unified Will now as well. Counter spells. He's got a nice clock on the battlefield. Another Rest in Peace in hand as well. Oh, it's all coming up Desani right now.
So what do you do here? Do you pass during? Do you pass during upkeep? Do you play Rest in Peace? I don't think, or you play it now so you can attack with Thalia. I think playing pass during upkeep is a little better.
Just get rid of that Sai.
Yeah,
Yep.
Thalia keeps Tyrell from going off next turn, so he's pretty safe
An attack for
on that
4.
following turn. Yeah,
But
after draw step.
Yep, in the upkeep as a path to exile.
It's actually after draw step.
Sorry. So Severin may have already drawn one of his basics there.
Just to give a chance of not drawing the basic land.
Yep. So Severin goes a hunting. Probably going to find a forest here.
Yeah, Torf is playing a forest and an island.
Okay, gets an island instead.
Jeremy gave him the chance to get the second one in case he had the one already in hand.
Yep. Heads up play there from Desani. Definitely the right time to play that spell. Not really a great combo with Thalia, Path to Exile, but it's certainly doing good work right now against Severin here, who I think was hoping to leverage that Sai to get some real advantage.
Yeah, this is not the situation you want to be in. You don't want to be struggling for just to play your one spell a turn. You have one spell to cast. It's not doing that all that much.
Oh dear. Now Galvanic Blast in hand here for Severin as he plays a Mox Opal, and we may indeed see that Galvanic Blast. Does he have 3 artifacts? Yes, indeed, with a second Darksteel Citadel, and he's an Ancient Stirrings.
That Galvanic Blast costs at least 4. 2 from Thalia plus the 2 from the Wanderer.
Oh, of course, yeah. Man, Desani's got this on lockdown.
Yeah, and then he has a Unified Will.
Just on top of that. So, Severin doing his very best, but hasn't really been able to come up with the goods. As we see another big attack now with that Sai out of the way. So here's the Galvanic Blast.
I think you counter with the Wanderer. No? And then you have Unified Will and Thalia. You're pretty safe next turn.
Desani, of course, can counter can use Unified Will thanks to the Noble Hierarch. See if he wants to cast this Rest in Peace as well, just to really put this one beyond contention. A rough and an ignominious end from the fellows from Germany, the Berlin boys, on the left-hand side of your screen here. But Desani came well and truly equipped for this matchup, Raf, and as a result, he's being paid the dividends, reaping exactly what he's sown here.
Yeah, he knows this match.
Yeah,
like that's a given.
He's all over it, like white on rice. So Severin, considering the few options that he has here, it's not looking good. An Ichor Wellspring. Draw a card. Only costing 2 now, of course, because Thalia has been removed. And an Ancient Stirrings as well.
Like anything that doesn't affect the board or the outcome of this game can resolve.
Yeah, exactly. Desani just needs to sit behind that Unified Will, sandbag it until the opportune moment, and then that'll be that. Severin is at some point going to try to make a key play, and that will be the one that is countered. And this one looking very, very good for the French superstar on the right-hand side of your screen.
Yeah, he would have needed 8 mana and 2 Ironworks for his plan to
easy.
For his plan to be, good.
Scrap Trawler. Can't even really block here. And the second scrap trawler in hand here for Severin. See what his next move is. Chromatic Sphere by the look of it. Yes, indeed. There it is. That's fine, says Desani. Again, this Unified Will is just going to be the spanner in the works here for the German. And Severin with a star now. Looks like a Mox Opal may follow this up. Is Desani going to pull the trigger here on the Unified Will on this star?
Nah,
Looks like he's thinking about it.
I don't think so. I think what he could do is pass to exile his own Wanderer. So next turn he has access to Rest in Peace and Unified Will. That was the option, one of the options. Well, now he has the land, so he doesn't really need to think about it too much.
Yep, he's got Rest in
Can
Peace
play
backed
both,
up
yeah.
with Unified Will after that Horizon Canopy. A timely rip there. And it looks like Sajgalik agrees. Get that bad boy into play, he says. And now, easy game, easy life here for Jeremy Desani. Gets in for another attack. Severin, no responses on his side of things. Going to take the damage.
Yeah, the drawback of the line with the pass to exile end of turn
Yeah.
was that the clock was one more turn,
Yes.
because that would have been only 3 and 3, and Thorolf was on 7.
There's Rest in Peace. And Severin reads his cards and weeps a little bit here because those scrap trawlers have just now turned into, what is it, Fearless Halberdiers?
We're not forgetting the trick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yep. Bit easier to cast, though.
Gorilla Warrior
Guerrilla Warrior.
Yeah.
There's a blast from the past.
from Urza Saga.
All right. In response, draw a card with a Chromatic Star. It's now or never here. But, the thing is, Severin just can't do anything, even with a Nature's Claim here. It's just going to eat a Unified Will. And a lethal attack coming across next turn from Desani.
Yeah.
Sai off the top. Is that enough? Can that forestall the inevitable? Not against a Unified Will, it can't. Severin's going to go for it all the same here. You got to try. Got to keep him honest. Got to make him have it. Here's the Sai, Master Thopterist from this arena boy. And if that doesn't provoke the counter from Desani, I don't know what will. I mean, it doesn't matter. He's got a path to exile in hand. So,
If Jeremy knew Thorolf's hand, he would counter it.
just
Like,
snap
no
off the
questions
counter
asked.
straight away, yeah.
But he doesn't know. Maybe he can go off with the Mox and the Ironworks. So
Just think you take your time. Severin realizes his time in the feature match area is going to come to a swift, an abrupt halt here, so he's just wanting every moment of the fame that he can get here. Four cards in hand for Severin. Desani double checks.
even Ironworks would not actually do that much. Like he wouldn't draw a card off the Wellspring.
No.
He would get a lot of mana.
But, I mean,
But to do what?
nothing to do with it. I mean, there's no incremental advantage without a graveyard here for Severin. You can't start, looping back cards for value. Even, as you say, the Echo Wellspring specifically has to go to the graveyard. It's not when it leaves the battlefield. Well, Desani's that far ahead here that he really just doesn't want to make a misstep and give it away. So now the Sai resolves. This may have bought Severin another turn here. Mox Opal triggers the Sai. And the Thopter buzzing around on the stack, you can see, comes into play. Sajgalik tends to take
So Arn won his match.
Oh, hello, look at this. Arna Hushenbeth getting up against Thiago Rodriguez, and that means that this one's the decider. You can hear Eduardo Sajgalik on the middle table takes a very active interest in his teammates' games, tends to offer a lot of counsel and a lot of advice. Another Thopter now, thanks to the Chromatic Star.
Maintenant, tu peux le faire. Maintenant, tu peux le faire. Ah non, non, parce qu'il y a le premier rang.
And you can hear them chatting away in French. Sajgalik is Canadian from Quebec.
I think he's French.
Oh, is he actually just
Yeah.
French? He grew up in Canada? Or he
think
grew
he's
up in
French.
France, but he's
Yeah.
from Canada.
He lives in Canada.
He's from Canada originally, I think.
Nah,
And
I'm
grew
not
up
sure.
in France.
I don't know.
I don't know. Largely irrelevant.
I think
He
he's
speaks French.
I think he's French.
He speaks pretty good French.
Yeah, well, they're wondering the timing of the Path to Exile and what to counter with Unified Will.
So the scrap trawler is put on the stack here for Severin, generates another Thopter. So Severin will be able to hold off the clowns for at least one more turn here. But again, Dazani, counterspell in hand, counterspell on the board in the form of Mausoleum Wanderer, Path to Exile in hand as well. So after a lot of thinking and a lot of fiddly farting around going back and forth, the team of Thiago Rodriguez, Eduardo Sajgalik and Dazani decide, we'll just chill. We're just not going to do anything at the end of the turn. Here is a Path to Exile on Scythe the Master Thopterist. Severin fetches a forest. Back to Dazani now, who still has the Unified Will in hand, of course, Knight of Autumn, and a Horizon Canopy now off the top.
So now he can, I would say, play the Knight, kill a Thopter, and attack with just the Captain or the other one, any of them. Yep.
So now Dazani was actually in a position there where his Unified Will was not a counterspell because Severin had more creatures than him. But now, now Severin's 3 to Dazani's 4. You can see the Noble Hierarch hiding out in the lands there as well. Yep. So a block.
Oh, shuffle. Thanks.
And after the Path to Exile from Severin there, of course, Dazani gets to shuffle his library. So back to Severin now, after the Mausoleum Wanderer is blocked by a Thopter. But with a Rest in Peace, it can be very difficult for Severin to get back into this one. Here's a Chromatic Sphere.
That's great.
Immediately draw a card. It's not like Chromatic Star, which wouldn't draw a card.
All right.
Yep. Didn't get a good look at that card that was just drawn. And a result has to extend the hand. And congratulations indeed to Jeremy Dazani after a hard-fought match. Hard-fought game, wins the match there along with Eduardo Sajgalik and Thiago Rodriguez. Unfortunately, Huschenbett, Grimmer and Severin fall to 9 and 3 and probably out of top 8 contention as a result. But well done all the same. A good effort from those fellows. We may see more of Dazani. We may see more of Sajgalik and Rodriguez as the day continues.
2 more rounds.
Indeed, before we head towards our top 4, and you're not going to want to miss a moment of that, Raf. I mean, you're not going to miss a moment of it. You're kind of locked into it. But for you around the world, my friends, don't go anywhere because plenty more Magic coming your way from Liverpool. We're going to go to some ads, but after that, we will be back with more Magic live from GP Liverpool, and we'll see you then.